jump up and you'll have, I love it how Musica is actually playing as a Syllabare. You also have Shadow Priest thrown into the mix, and I think there's one more somewhere. I lost him. Via Stro Ranger. How can I forget? Oh, I should be slapped.
Yeah, how can you forget your first love?
Obviously,
You're not very sentimental, are you?
Obviously.
Well, you know what was the first hero I played? Enchantress.
Enchantress is good. I'd like to see it picked more. She's a good option, but you wouldn't pick an Enigma and Enchantress in the same game. It's just like neutral heaven, and we could be here till 70 minutes while everyone's still farming up. So not really the best lineup for spectators to actually go. But the lineup that Aeon has got, they're obviously here to entertain the sister group stages here at SMM 2010. So there's a lot to play here at the moment. You don't really find yourselves one behind. If you find yourselves one behind, you're not sitting up there in the top 2 positions. You feel a little bit uncomfortable, and you find that a lot more hangs on the balance of the other teams that you get to play.
Well, you know Shadow Priest, right? It's so amazing. Because like you can use Shadow Priest in so many situations. Number one, you can use him as a really aggressive hero. You can use him to even solo middle, and at level 6 he just goes and run lane. And just like the other carry hero just goes back to middle lane, and there will be like no like lefts in between where there will be like, oh, Shadow Priest is like underpowered. No way, Shadow Priest is so good.
Shadow Priest is absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see what lanes they're going to go. At the moment, the Foghorn has gone off and the creep waves are out there. So we've got Ray playing for XTC as a Dro Ranger on that bottom lane. I think we saw a bit of a glimpse of who was down there before, but at the moment, have all gone. Jump up straight up to the top lane. We've got Musica playing as a Syllabare. He'll be going up against Lion, what appears to be a 2 solo at the moment. Going towards middle lane is the 2 riders, Obsidian Destroyer, as well as the Bat Rider playing there in the middle lane. As looks like a bit of a pull happening here on the bottom lane as everyone's having a bit of fun. As well as on the top with that creep wave disappearing, we've got Musica having to fight a little bit further into enemy territory.
Well, you can see by the way Angma has, built his skills is like he's gonna go for like a very heavy lane, stable lane pusher, because he's gonna go out against a Draw Ranger, which is gonna have really high base damage later on in game. And the Frost Arrow, that's just so annoying because that's like the ultimate lane controller. How are you gonna do anything if you're like slow half the time?
Yeah, it is rather hard. You just gotta get your positioning right, and you should be okay after that point. But obviously, Ray, they want to get him farmed up there. That's why the support is hanging around at the moment. XTC really want that bottom lane, because when you go up against an Enigma, those conversions really hurt early on. They're only level 1 right now, but as they crank themselves up, they'll focus a little bit more on the heroes. They can do a lot more. And even now, this is great play here by Henke, playing as a Shadow Priest, just trying to actually harass that Enigma back as far as they possibly can, giving Ray just that little bit of extra room to breathe and farm.
Well, Musica is really pressured really hard at the top lane. You can see how he has used like his Spirit Bear to, be a scout over in the forest here, and the Witch Doctor is just like poking away at the Spirit Bear, but he needs to do that, he needs to see what is happening, and he needs to keep out the pressure. A stun there, they are going to try to take down the Spirit Bear, and there you go, the Spirit Bear does go down to the Lion. He's going to go past the tower, but nothing's going to be done because Musica is really behind the tower. Like I said, bottom lane pressure is very high against the Enigma because they have the Draw Ranger which can slow, and Shadow Priest has his skill, has poison skill that can slow him also. He has his second Spirit Bear out, so I don't think that's going to be a problem for Musica at the moment, but look at that, just taking away the tower.
The only problem you're going to have is every single time that bear dies, it's a little bit of extra gold that gets put in the back pockets of the Scourge side, so they've got to be careful not to lose it that much. But the fact that Musica is going solo there, he can micro that bear beautifully. Like, he's definitely got the skill to actually do so. So keep your eyes open very closely on when that bear actually moves and where that bear moves to. Bit of a word here in the middle lane at the moment. Stell's been having a great time going up against Nick for Aeon there in the middle lane. So the Bat Rider really getting on those last hits, staying on top as well. The amount of times I've just peeked in towards the middle, and OD has been on almost no health whatsoever. Of course, Magic Stick is probably the best item Nick could have picked up there in the middle. Every single time you see that toss goes out there with the sticky napalm, wants to try and lock him in place at the moment. Looks like bottom lane is also being slightly harassed there with everything going off. Shadow Priest, XTC trying to keep the pressure on, killing those conversions before they do replicate themselves, and really pushing an Enigma back, which is not an easy feat to do. ES gets the fissure off in the middle, but Bat Rider should be okay. The fissure won't lock him in place there, so it's all quiet at the moment.
Well, since the top lane, you know, the Syllabare is like so pressured. But you know, at the same time, at the bottom lane, Enigma is being pressured by, you know, the Sentinel team. The Draw Ranger seems to be, you know, being less aggressive than I think. Like she's kind of more passive than I think she would be.
Actually, oh, bottom lane, just harassing. I love it. I love this at the moment from the Shadow Priest. He's not sad to put himself straight out in the mix there. Say, yeah, you know what? I'll take the pressure. That's fine. Just basically, you keep harassing that Enigma back. Don't let him get too close. Don't let him use those conversions to get the last hits. And they can also get the gold from killing those conversions too. So they really want to stay on top of that one. Top lane, you're right. It is free farming at the moment, but Musica is staying in the mix. He's not moving himself back. Now the ES Fisher on middle lane once again is just more harassment. Fires off another Clarity to try and get himself back up again. And it's just like, at the moment, but all the lanes are just pressuring themselves off. Scourge for the top lane to try and bring down that tier 1. Bottom lane, of course, you got the Drone Ranger. They're not really concerned about pushing the lane as much, more about just getting the farm with that Drone Ranger, because she is very, very powerful if she gets a couple of items up.
Well, the Lion and WD are like being super aggressive at the, you know, at the top lane, and you can see like they're pushing past the tower whenever, you know, there's like creeps over here right outside the level 1 tower. The Lion's just like pushing behind to make sure the Syllabare doesn't have chance. Stuns goes on there onto the Syllabare, and there you go. Another stun coming from the Lion, and first blood goes to Aeon.
Oh, what a beautiful work in the middle
goes down.
Yeah, the Enigma came from the bottom lane to rejoin the ES, which has been harassing as well with the OD right on top of it. And Stella, the Bat Rider, actually goes down as well. We'll have a bit of a quick save game as well for the players while the lanes are being pushed.
So yeah, we're going to go to save. So what happened in the middle just now would probably be a feature coming up from the ES, and you know, the Enigma just coming from the side and probably did a Melodic? Not a Melodic, a stun.
Yeah, it's really, really hard. Like, you do actually have that coming in from the side, but there's only so much
you can
take. He's
level 6, you know. Enigma is level 6. He does have the black hole really soon. Will we see the dagger really soon?
They're going to watch this sometime soon. They might want to watch bottom lane at the moment, because Henke is pushing this tower by himself. He doesn't need anyone. Sorry, there's Drone Ranger hiding behind the creep wave. We see the glint firing off, 21 HP there. The Sentinel get the last hit there, not getting the right timing off just there. ES now coming in. He wants to go Enigma. Initial stuns there on Ray as he's trying to fall back there. But the big creep wave.
He's not going to have enough mana for a black hole anyway.
Yeah, and that creep wave hitting on the back of him too. He can't stick around there even if he wanted to. That creep wave probably would have wiped off half of his HP, and Shadow Priest would have taken the rest. So wise decision to actually fall back. But still, 0-2 so far in favour of Aeon XTC. Just a little bit behind the 8 ball at the moment, but only by a little bit.
Well, having a look at the bottom lane, like I said, you know, he does have a black hole. It's really hard to get him caught. Whatever happens, he can run. He can definitely get away. The problem is, can he be able to help his team catch, or is he gonna be like gonna farm out and try to be engaged later on in game? Is he gonna be like early engager or a late engager? You do see in the middle lane, the OD is doing quite well up against the Bat Rider. They're pretty equal, I would guess. And the Spirit Bear is, you know, not say free farming, but starting to regain back some levels that he has lost to the early pressure early on in game.
Yeah, it's good to actually see Musica getting in there, going into his lone druid form as well. Wants to really, like, get himself in the mix there, get those last hits,
Lion being in a really dangerous situation right there.
I love it. Bat Rider just wants to have a crack at the mid as well.
Well, he's level 6 and he does has threat, so let me see. Is there anyone that he can one hit? I guess he can catch a VS. He can sort of like do a stun and a finger onto the VS, and that would be the end of him. Of course, I would think it would be better if he went for the Shadow Priest, because Shadow Priest is what is ultimately going to keep the team alive during engagement.
Yeah, the funny thing though, he pops level 6, you'll have that, but what I'm really, really worried about at the moment is how much farm Music is actually going to get up there on the top lane. Obviously, Boots is all he needs, but the second he gets a Radiance, throw that on top of the
Sun going off there onto the drawing jet at the bottom lane, and you just see that Medic just goes off onto him, and there you go, he gets taken down by the Enigma and the Witch Doctor. Well...
Yeah. That's the power of Maledict. Very, very early on in the game, you throw it on down, it just basically doubles every bit of damage you get. It's very, very nasty, but yeah, well, in the end, it can easily spell death. Very early on in this game, it's not very surprising that's actually happening. But you got to remember too, like we're talking about it, unless OD gets really, really beefed up and becomes completely unstoppable, this game is actually XTC's. Aeon needs to be very aggressive. Lion can't just sit up here and farm up the top lane. This can't continue to happen. because if this happens, he'll get himself ganked. Sure, he wants a blink dagger and then he'll probably start roaming himself out. But he's just got to be very, very careful for moments exactly like this.
He said he's pulling you, he's going to take him up onto fire, and the Syllabite is going to take it. He said a root that I see, and there you go, a stun goes over onto the Barrier, and the Syllabite, a TP is definitely going to come in, and Nima comes in into the battle. That was so close for the Lion, but I would say the threats really
you need to be right on that now. I just love the fact that Enigma instantly TP'd in here. Now Batrider's thinking about having another go, just throwing out that napalm, trying to push that Enigma back there. I think at the end they said, well, we didn't get the kill, let's get ourselves the tower. And that's what we want. Lion was very, very lucky to actually escape out of that one, so he should definitely be counting as lucky stars. Batrider still pushing that top tower as much as he possibly can. Enigma not wanting to leave it out there, but we also have a couple of heroes missing from the battles. Syllabite showing himself up there on the top. Enigma getting close. Look for that black hole. They've got to split themselves up. Lion's going to come in. He goes for the impel. Just manages to actually get the Batrider there on the range. That bear has been kept on actually hitting on the back of Enigma. Lion still hanging around. There goes the stun. Enigma's in trouble. Coming on through. One hit, two hit. Down it goes. And then it's still going to come through. ES Fisher locking Batrider in place. How long can they do it though? Very, very low HP as well as Syllabite's bear. It takes a fall. Batrider tries to move out. He gets done there by the Wish Doctor casting off. I think he let his ultimate off in that one. Lion's trying to escape at the moment. There is no escape with VS as well as the Lone Druid moving back there. OD trapping. And now Fisher goes off. A little bit out of time there, but it still traps Shadow Priest in the mix there. Lone Druid tries to do whatever he can there. Henke does have the ulti. He might be able to live through this. He will live through this. Wish Doctor goes down. The Maledict will do enough though, so down with the ship is the way to go. 3 to 5. These guys have to stop engaging sometime soon with Syllabite falling back. And that's enough engagement for one day, boys and girls.
Well, what can I say is like, they're playing a catching view. They definitely would have to catch more. Just now the Syllabite, right, had really good root. I remember in the past, that was really long ago by the way, like 4 or 5 years ago, Syllabite root was like so imba. It was like, what, 80% root rate? We're gonna go for save right now, and just gonna see what happens. Looking at the Draw Ranger item, he does have the Poor Man's Shoe, he has Boots of Elven Skin, he has his Threats, he has a Ray Ban. It is sufficient to engage at any moment. It's like 120 damage per hit from her, and she does have the Frost Arrow. So looking at the middle lane, the OD is just back there trying to get his intel items up, because like, you know, the more intel he has, the more damage he does.
Yeah, that is definitely true. I'm loving the fact, like, double gloves, double phase on the Spirit Bear. Music is just stacking everything. I thought he might actually go for the early Radiance, but he's proving me completely wrong there. Is Batrider very, very fast over the top. Gets the ulti there on Nick, but he managed to actually catch him inside the other. Yes,